Hey everyone, Austin here again with another Let's Play video. Today, as you can see, it's going to be Gradius III for the Super Nintendo. This is a great shoot 'em up for the system, and in my opinion, it's one of the best Gradius games there is. The Super Nintendo version especially, while not nearly as challenging or even in some ways as polished as the arcade games, this does have a lot of slowdown and flicker and so forth. It's just very colorful and it sounds booming. It's just got a very appealing sound style to it and a great soundtrack. Good level variety, and it does have a good ramp up in difficulty towards the end of the game. Or if you crank it up to a higher difficulty mode, which we're not going to do today. We're going to play this on the default skill mode because I don't trust myself to play this on a hard right now for a Let's Play. Normal mode, we might be able to get through this game in one swoop. Cross your fingers. As usual, I make no guarantees. There is also a trick here you can do on the main title screen. And I don't remember if it's mashing... No, it's not that. Let's go back to the options because it'll go to the story mode. I think it's mashing A? No. Maybe it's X. Yeah. If you mash X really quickly on the title screen, you can actually get more credits. But you only have a few seconds to do it because then the game automatically goes to the story sequence, like the introduction sequence, basically. So it's a little interesting. What I like to do is go to the edit mode here on Gradius III. And it's a really cool option that's, I don't know if it's in too many other Gradius games, but you can basically choose what sort of abilities you want. Like, I want to say I want to use the tail gun for later on in the game, but I'm thinking maybe I should just use the double. I'm going to go with the double today. The energy laser here is the most powerful, and you don't get it at all unless you go through the edit option, which is kind of interesting. So we're going to go ahead with the energy laser. Unfortunately, it's going to cause a lot of slowdown. It's a weapon that causes a lot of slowdown. And I'm going to do the traditional option setup from classic Gradius games. I'm also going to do the... do I want the reduce function or the force field function? I'm going to go with the reduce function. It makes me super tiny. And then I'm going to use, for this last one here, I can either speed down or do full barrier. This will give me full options at the cost of lives, and I don't want that. I'm going to do full barrier. That way, in case I take a hit, I can get my barrier back without having to lose the barrier altogether. So for those of you guys that haven't played a Gradius game before, Gradius plays in an interesting manner, quite different from a lot of other shoot-em-ups, in that you get these little power-up canisters here. And you'll notice on the meter down below, there are options that are highlighted. And by pressing A by default, you can actually select the one that's highlighted. So the first one is speed up, and Gradius is notorious for being slow moving until you get a couple of speed ups. Now then, one of the most important power-ups you can get is the option, which basically gives you an extra layer of firepower. And you can hold up to 4 options in this game. So what I typically like to do when I play a Gradius game is try to get my options maxed out first, so I basically have maximum firepower. And then if I want to, I can go to the laser. I find that the extra firepower is more important because it means I'm dropping more missiles. My second power-up is the missile power-up. It means I'm dropping more missiles, I'm shooting more standard shots. I'm basically covering more screen space with my bullets. These blue canisters here clear everything on the screen except for larger enemies like those canisters that are dropping little popcorn enemies. So I'm going to go ahead and try to equip another option. What I'll do, just for the sake of this boss, is switch over to the energy laser. I don't know if it's actually called the energy laser. It's denoted as E laser down below on the bar. So I assume it means energy. Maybe it means something else, like... trying to think of a word with E at the start. I don't know. We'll call it energy laser. So, yeah, here's where the slowdown really starts in the game, and really this is something you should expect for most of the game, unfortunately. Fortunately, it does actually help you out. Unfortunately, it's there, but fortunately, it does actually help you out. And here's our energy laser. right in time for the first boss. The reason I wanted to switch over to the E-laser is because I should be able to take the boss out faster with it, theoretically. It's just a super powerful weapon. Boss is dead already. 3 hits. Yeah. If I was using my regular gun, it would have taken a lot longer. So, no, that was good. So the E-laser, you can just mash the fire button if you want to do, like, small shots. And it has a tendency of just cutting through whatever it touches. So, it's one of the reasons why it's, like, one of the best weapons in the game. It's powerful on its own. But if you charge it up, it's, like, mega powerful. It's one of the most powerful things in the game. And what I'm going to do this time, instead of getting the option, which I would like to get, I'm going to get the shield. It's not really a shield. Normally, it's a shield. The question mark is a shield, typically. But in Gradius III, they incorporated this option where you can basically turn your ship into a tiny ship, which I will do right now. There you go. But it still acts as a shield, even though I'm tiny. Like, if I hit a bullet, I turn a little bit bigger. If I hit another bullet, I turn all the way back to normal. So I was basically just demonstrating how that works. So it still acts as a shield, but you're smaller, which means it's harder to actually run into things. Which is why the shrink function is probably the way to go if you want a shield in this game. Now, you do have to be careful. If you don't have a shield, you die in one hit in this game. So, just like any typical shoot-'em-up from the time period. So, you do still have to be very careful. And you've got to be very careful not to touch the edges, like the water up top, you know, the bubbles. Because the hitboxes are very precise in the Gradius games. And whereas some shooters will let you get away with, like, grazing a wall and not dying, Gradius probably won't let you. It's very strict in that regard, so you have to be very, very careful in this game. I've died, even in Gradius III on the Super Nintendo, over the years, many times I've died just by simply grazing a wall. Whereas in another shmup, again, like I said, sounding like a broken record, I wouldn't die in another shmup, but in Gradius III, I definitely die, and it's... So yeah, you gotta be very, very careful. And I kind of wish I had my next option now, but I was trying to demonstrate some stuff for you. So, that's making this part a little bit harder than it would be. I'm missing out on my last layer of firepower, basically. So, and that's making it a little more challenging. One of the cool things here, though, and one of the great things about Super Nintendo Gradius III versus the arcade, is that it does have a lot of, like, hidden areas. So this here we're going to go to, secret area. If you go into this pit, it takes you to a secret area where you can try to get a lot of points and get some extra lives. If you fail, you go back to the level you were at, but if you succeed, you just skip the level completely and you skip the boss, which is great. What I'm going to do is actually change to the double. You can probably see why. Extra life up here. We want to grab it quick. Oh! I got cocky and I ran back. This is going to be difficult now. Oh, that was a really bad place to die. That's the problem with the bonus stages, is if you die in them, you got to go back and play the game normally with no power-ups, right back from the checkpoint. It's very tough at this point. It's not that bad on the Super Nintendo one. See, I died already. And that was my fault completely. That was horrible. That was so bad. And that's why you have to be really careful about touching walls and so forth in this game. As you saw, like, when I collected that extra life in the bonus level, it didn't look like I probably should have died by touching that wall. Like, I probably literally touched, like, the first pixel and died. And now I basically have no power-ups here, so... and you've got to try to beat this boss with 0 power-ups. Excuse me. Now, this boss in the Super Nintendo one without power-ups isn't really that bad, but in the arcade, I've never been able to beat that boss without being fully powered up. And if you die at that part on the arcade version, it's like you might as well just get a game over and restart completely. It's really... The arcade version of Gradius III is notoriously difficult. It's insanely difficult. I've never gotten very far in the arcade game, unfortunately, which is probably one reason why I like the Super Nintendo version so much, is that I can actually play it and enjoy the damn thing without banging my head against a brick wall. I mean, you can make this game challenging, you know. For one, the last stage or two is still tricky, even on the normal difficulty in this game, but you can at least get there. Like, you don't start banging your head on the second level in the game. You know, that's always frustrating. When you play a game, you can't even get past, like, the second or third stage. It just means, like, the difficulty doesn't ramp up in a smooth way, which can make the game more frustrating than not. It's not to say there's no satisfaction to be had from that. It's just that's not my style of game. I prefer a game that ramps up in difficulty more smoothly. So it's fun in the beginning. I can understand if it gets really hard towards the end, but at least build up to that really high difficulty level, you know. Just don't come out of the gate swinging with your hardness, your difficulty. But yeah, it's just a personal preference there, so... so we're going to go ahead and not use the E-laser. I want to go ahead and try to stick with these options. Get my options maxed out, basically. And then the next one I'm going to get is the shield instead. Energy laser is great, but I care more about not dying now after losing 2 lives. Or was it 2 lives or 3 lives? I forgot how many lives I lost. I lost 1 in the bonus stage. And then I think I died twice after that. Alright, so we got the shield function. So we got these like volcanoes, which is like a very traditional aspect of the Gradius games. A traditional feature. Now, the volcanoes were in the very first Gradius game ever made in the mid-1980s. The first Gradius came out in, like, 85 or something like that, maybe 84. See, there was supposed to be another bonus stage up here, but I think if you die the first one, you can't get the second one. Alright, so we will use the energy laser here. And if you're using the E-laser like this, you're best off literally just holding down the button. And that's about as fast as it'll fire at max firepower, basically. It'll slow the screen down to hell, like as you'd see. It's just really, really flickery right now. It's very slow. And that's the energy laser for you in a nutshell. Great thing though is because it kind of acts as it charges up around you. You can basically just try to run into enemies with it, almost use it as like an offensive shield in a way, which is pretty cool. It doesn't like destroy bullets or anything, but again, because of how it charges up, you can just use it to get near enemies and take them out. To like just literally just slam into the enemies. Actually, I'm gonna try to come up this way. Yeah, that was a better idea. See, this is where like the reverse power-up would come in handy. Basically, the tail shot power-up is what I mean. This part's really tough too. If you die at this boss and you have to come back here, this part's insanely difficult without any power-ups. And that's one of the big problems with a lot of the Gradius games. And one reason why the series is notoriously difficult is that the checkpoints are horrible in these games. They're insanely difficult. That's probably not the first time you're going to hear me say insanely difficult in this playthrough. That's it. That's why the energy laser is so good. You can just tear right through bosses. Alright, so I think we're going to either go to the Moai stage, or we're going to go to the fire level. Now, the Moai heads are basically like the Easter Island heads, if you guys remember what those are. And that was also a signature trait of the Gradius series, is the Moai heads. I don't know why, but it's funny. Oh, these guys that come from behind you, they'll steal your options. So you want to try to do your best to avoid them, otherwise you'll have to, you know, recollect your options again. Yeah, it's the Moai head stage. What I might end up doing is switching to my double power-up. Actually, what I'm going to do is just leave it here. Because if I take a hit, my final power-up selection, you notice it's blank right now in the bottom right-hand portion of the screen. Well, the second I take a hit, like right now, I can use it, and it basically replenishes my shield to 100%. So that's why I just wanted to let it sit there like that. Not pick up any other power-up canisters. You'll kind of notice how, like, slow the game is right now. I'm kind of intentionally letting it be that way. If I wanted to, I could literally just stop firing when there's nothing happening on screen, and the game would speed right back up. The only reason it's slowing down is there's just so much happening on screen. Like, here's a little bit faster now, see? But then I start firing, it's slowing down like crazy. So, a lot of times what I'll do in this game is literally just keep firing just to keep the game slow. Like, intentionally, basically. And what I might do here is actually switch over to my double attack. Actually, you know what? I should probably just stick with the energy laser, to be honest with you. Because it's so powerful. See, yeah, I totally just wrecked that guy in one hit, basically. Yeah, if I switched over to the double shot, it would have taken a lot longer. But the idea is that with the double shot, I could hit both of the Moai heads with a single shot. Because with the double shot, it goes like this. At a, you know, one goes forward, the other goes at a 45-degree angle. Which is really useful. Like, don't get me wrong. It's super useful. I might even just use it for most of this level, to be honest with you. This should be the fire level. Yeah. Okay, cool. Dude's coming from behind me again. I want to slowly work my way up, just like this, so the options don't hit him. If they do, then I lose that option. And now is probably not a good time to be losing my options. I'm gonna switch back over to the energy laser. Energy laser is gonna actually be better for this boss as well, so... And we should be at the boss here in just a minute. You notice a lot of these levels aren't that long. Yeah, we're at the boss fight already. So let's hope we can take this guy out really quickly with the energy beam. Of course, he's not even coming over this way. Come on, man. I'm over here. No, don't go that way. Come back. I'm just waiting here. Thankfully, there's no timer in these bosses. Seriously, he's literally just doing loops. There we go. Alright, now we gotta hit the other one too. That's it. Now you gotta be careful when you destroy the boss, because I think his exploding parts will actually kill you. And fortunately that did not happen to us, but I was noticing the bullets were getting absorbed by the parts that were flying across the screen, so you do have to watch out for that on that boss specifically. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is stick with the energy beam. I think this is the plant-based level, so I'm gonna go ahead and just try to keep actually I need to get another speed up power up for this boss, assuming we're gonna get to this boss without dying. And then after this level, no. The next level is the speed up level, and then I think we go to the boss rush. Alright, so I have to be really careful here not to die. Because, you know, I'm really fast right now. Yeah, and what I'm going to do is try to get that double power up as well. Yeah, I probably should have waited to use the speed up power up at the end and not at the beginning. And you guys will see exactly why I need the speed up power up in just a few moments. Alright, so we got the double power up. Whoa, jeez, I am super fast, man. You don't really notice how fast you are until the slowdown stops. Then you realize you're actually way too fast. That's why there's a speed down option as one of your mystery... Not mystery, but your last power up option award. Oh, that was so close. We basically don't want to have happen what happened on the first bonus stage, where I died because I was just too fast and I ran into an object. Just gonna keep firing just to keep the game slow to make my life a little bit easier. Oh great, it's one of these things again, coming up from behind. It's gonna be a little tricky to avoid right now. Not a good time, dude, not a good time. Oh, I still managed to miss him, that's good. I actually wanted the energy laser. Oh, it sucks. If I can just get 2 more power-ups, yeah, it's not gonna happen. Yeah, this is gonna take a little while too. I wanted the E laser to make this go a lot faster. Alright, so this is gonna be tough. For me, this is one of the most challenging bosses in the game, to be honest with you. You have to hit his core, but he sucks you in, and that's why I got the speed power up. It's so I can back up, basically. And his bullets go through him. It's hard to see where the bullets are coming from, because he blocks the view, basically. And he sucks in, like, these little green, prickly things as well, which kill you. And then he comes and sits up right here in front of you. Sets up shop right in front of you, and he's just like, hey, what's going on? And you're like, please go away. Oh, this is the tough part right here. Wow, we did it first try. That's good. Yeah, that's why you need to be not fully sped up, but really, really fast, like I am right here. Of course, that feeds into this next level where there's going to be a speed up section. So the speed power up is going to be useful here as well. And you can see the little popcorn enemies have changed in design now. They typically do that in Gradius games as you get farther into the game. And hey, look, I have to dodge now. A lot, actually. Oh, I didn't want to grab that, actually. Alright, what I'm going to do is actually switch over to have it highlighted on my shield, because I'm probably going to need it here. So this part can sort of troll you a little bit. There's some dead ends that you can run into and pretty much just die instantly. I don't exactly remember where those are, so we're going to hope for the best here. Oh, and I got crushed. I'm surprised that killed me instantly. I thought I'd be able to just use my shield right away, but... Alright, so this is going to be really hard now. Oh, again? Really? Not a good place to die. Not a good place to die at all. As you can probably tell. That's it. So, boss time. So if we get to a checkpoint, it should start us off right here, I believe. At least we've got the energy laser. And we're relatively fast. Yeah, we have a shield, actually. Bam! Just like that. Now it's boss rush time. Again, very typical of the Gradius games. Very good, we're pretty much fully powered up, that's great. That'll make this boss rush a lot easier. So this music you were hearing in the background there just a moment ago is Original Gradius 1 music. And this music is, I don't know if it's from Gradius 1, but I know it's definitely in Gradius 2. So one of the things I've always liked about the Gradius games is they do really pay homage to the older games in their franchise. They don't ignore the old games in the series, basically. And basically pay respect to all the old games, which is really cool. They do that by bringing back old bosses, bringing back old music, and so forth. Alright, there we go. That's it. There's a bunch of bosses here, by the way. Alright, so this dude's a little tricky here. You need to shoot the center part, but it's kind of blocked at the same time. And of course, you can't actually do any damage until the core shows up. The little blue orb. Right now. Alright, I think there's one more. Does he come from behind or the front? I don't remember. The front, okay. Now this is definitely a tricky one. And he's gonna get rolled up and dash right at you. Oh, and that's not a good place to die. Not a good place to die at all. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, this is gonna be really tough without a shield. Oh boy. At least they give you some power-ups. I mean, that's some consolation, I guess. That's it. Good. We got it the second time at least. And that's it. Next level. So, this is a mechanical level, I believe, and then after that we go to an organic final stage. In the first Gradius, this mechanical-ish level was the final level in the game. But in Gradius 3, they take you to another one afterwards. I'm going to use the double power up here as well to help fight against these guys on the ceiling. Unfortunately, I've got the missiles to deal with the guys on the floor. And this is why in the beginning of the game I was considering using the tail power up, because it's really useful in this level in particular. Because you've got a lot of guys that come from behind in like really tight areas, basically. Alright, so I'm going to skip this last option. I'm going to get my shield first to play it safe. Because as you can tell, it's kind of a pain to recover in this game when you die. So it's almost more important to just try to stay alive than it is to be fully powered up. As you can see, the double is pretty useful here. It's taking out a lot of these guys from, you know, on the ceiling. It's gonna be a little bit of a trick section here. And it'll probably catch most people off guard when they first play this game. I think it did me back in the day, too. Alright, it's a little corridor here. We don't have to worry about too much. There's this next part right up here. Bam, and just stay in the middle. Just like that, see? At least they were nice as to not crush you, because in other Gradius games, I think they would just literally go out, all out and crush you. So you need to take out the little gun turrets in the front on each of these, and then try to take out the little doors that are opening that are revealing some enemies. And then I don't think the boss does anything else. This takes us to the next section of the level. And this could be really, really tricky if we die here. It's going to be really tough to recover if we die at this next boss. So let's hope we don't die. Cross your fingers for me, guys. Cross your fingers for me. So these guys can be killed, but they take a lot of hits. Of course, it's not looking like a lot of hits now because I've got the energy laser. But trust me when I say, like, a normal shot takes a lot of hits. Oh, that was close. Alright, this should be the boss now. Or almost. So this guy, you need to get in front of him. So you do that by dancing between his legs. And there's going to be two of these guys. But with the energy beam, it shouldn't be that big of a deal, hopefully. Bam, that's one down. Now the second one I think also comes from behind. If I'm lucky, he's going to come from the right and make my life easy. Okay, he's coming from the right. Let's hope that I can do some damage right away. Bam! Ooh, that was good, because the last time I tried playing through this on Twitch, I died to that boss and I lost all my lives. Granted, I might have been tired at that point. Because I do very long streams when I stream on Twitch. Alright, so let's see what we got here in the final level. If I recall correctly, the final boss in this game is kind of a cakewalk. He's not really difficult at all. Especially with the energy laser. So this has a lot of throwback enemies to the old Gradius games. The The first Gradius had guys like these, and then there were similar enemies in Life Force, also known as Salamander in Japan, which came out in North America as Life Force. Very popular shooter on the Nintendo Entertainment System. And that was actually my first entry into the Gradius series, and really shoot-em-ups in general, outside of like Galaga and Tiger Heli. Gotta start somewhere, right guys? But yeah, these guys were in the very first Gradius. They were very much a pain to deal with in the first game. With the awesome power-ups in this game, not so hard to deal with, fortunately. Alright, so this stuff that you can destroy, it comes back. So you need to be careful, because if it comes back on top of you, you'll die instantly. And that's probably going to be the trickiest part in this stage, is having to deal with, like, the regenerating walls that you can destroy. Like right here, this is very typical of the Gradius games. They'll put you through like a whole section of this wall stuff. You'll have to just cut your way through it without dying. And then there's probably going to be a longer section, and I think it's right here actually. If you want to just let it... Yeah, just like this. And I think you pretty much just stay up front and hope for the best. Very tricky sections. In some Gradius games it's easier than others, like Life Force it's really easy, and this one it's not too bad. But Gradius 5, man, oh, really tough. And that's it. We beat him already. Yes, really easy final boss. But after going through all that other stuff, I don't really care. Really cool animation at the end, too. Really well done. And there you have it, guys. Gradius 3 for the Super Nintendo. Really fun game. Really, really good shooter for the system. One of the better Super Nintendo shmups, if you ask me. Still worth playing today. Can be quite challenging, though, but fortunately there is an easy mode for you, you guys out there that don't want to stomach what I just went through. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole game, guys. I don't really think there's anything else after this. The credits just roll, and that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions or comments about this game, just feel free to, you know, post your feedback below in the comments section. I want to say thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this Let's Play. I think it's actually been a little while since I've done a shoot-'em-up, to be honest with you. So it's good to do another shoot-'em-up Let's Play. God, what was the last one I did? Blazing Lasers might have been the last shoot-'em-up I did on YouTube. Dragon Spirit on the NES. Okay, maybe it hasn't been that long, but it feels like it's been a while. So, but yeah, Gradius 3, really cool game. The whole series is worth checking out, to be honest with you. They're all pretty good, although they can be extremely frustrating once you play the arcade ones. Yeah. Congratulations! Challenge hard mode. No thanks. I'll pass, thank you. And I think it throws you right into hard mode, actually. Yeah, it does. So we're not going to play hard mode, guys. We're going to go ahead and just die. So I want to say thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this Let's Play. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I've got a lot of Let's Plays on here and many more to come, if that's your sort of thing. For everybody else, thanks for the continued support. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys soon. So, until then, Take it easy.